So some people had questions about what I was 3D printing the other day. I had a plate that was full of this stuff. And the short answer is it's a spool winder or a rewinder, which is to take filament from one spool to another spool. And I'll kind of tell you a little bit why that is. This is my 3D printer here. It's a Bambu Lab P1S. And on top, this device is called the Bambu Lab AMS, or Automatic Material System. And what the Automatic Material System, or AMS, does, you can see there's 4 spools up here of different filament. The AMS will interface with the 3D printer and provide the different filaments you have up here, whether they're different types of filament, different colors. It will automatically feed those in and change them out as they are needed. So all of these spools have the filament on it. And the filament is this plastic wire. There's different materials, but it's generally a type of plastic that gets fed through the AMS into the printer. It's then printed onto your build plate and creates different things. There's all sorts of kinds of filament, different colors. You know, here's a unicorn bust in white, and then I printed it in a silk rainbow finish, which you can see here. So you have all sorts of options to use for filament. The issue the AMS has is it needs the filament to come on these plastic spools so that they can rotate correctly and feed. And when you buy filament, a lot of times, sometimes it comes on a plastic spool, sometimes it doesn't. A lot of refills or filament comes in these cardboard spools, and those spools will not work with the AMS. So to make them work, we can use our spool transferring device, or our spool winder, to take it from the cardboard spool and put it here onto these hard plastic spools, so it will work in the AMS with the 3D printer. So to assemble the spool winder that I used, it requires some bearings in here. I have some 608 skate bearings, and I'm currently kind of piecing those together. I'll show you, see if I can do this one-handed here. Take that, and you take a bearing here, and that slides. Well, maybe we can get it in here. Kind of slides in there. You get it to kind of line up there. And then you take one of these pins and kind of work in there. And then you got your bearings. So you put a couple bearings in here. And I'll show you a couple progress updates. So all these gears are getting a bearing in the center. And if you're an engineer, it's a interference fit. I'm just pressing the gear onto the bearings here. Your gears end up going all through here. This one turns those 3. And there's a little more work to do. So here's the finished assembly. You have all your gears here with one of your spools that'll feed through this kind of worm gear that helps move back and forth to feed the spool evenly. And it'll be feed off of a spool that's over here. I need a couple wipers to go down there, but I didn't have the right material. But what happens is you take a drill that goes in there. See it moves back and forth. Right off of that. Here is the first test run of it. I re-spooled this orange filament onto this plastic reel, and you can see it turned out actually really, really good. So I'm going to try and do this black filament now. I have the black on the cardboard, and it comes and it feeds through the worm gear-esque traveler that helps spool it properly on here. This is the receiving spool, and I've taped the end onto it there. I found once I start using the drill that you just need to keep going. It keeps tension on both and helps keep the filament tight to the spool. So let's see how this one goes. And there you have it. I was able to successfully transfer all my filament off of the cardboard spools for the refills onto a permanent plastic spool. So now I can add that to the AMS and print in multiple colors.